Hey, what's going on, guys? Long time since I made a video. Um, Not so much working out anymore and all that fun stuff, but figured I'd do a video on these Bauer 20 volt lithium quarter inch impacts. Um, I've owned two of them now for about a year, and I mean, they're like $60 or whatever. Decent deal. Um, I think the torque value was like 1100 inch pounds or something. Anyway, they're really handy whenever you need to do, um, small bolts or screws or anything like that. Um, I'm not doing so much a review on how they work or the quality or anything. I mean, they seem to be pretty durable. I've dropped them. I carry them around every day. Um, but I have not seen any videos on how to lubricate them or clean them or anything of that matter. I tried searching everywhere. I found some Milwaukee stuff and some DeWalt stuff, but Bauer specifically says refer to the manual, and then the manual says to reach out to a technician or whatever. So I'm trying some stuff here. I've got just some generic wheel bearing grease, a little paintbrush because it makes it a little easier, and I found this stuff at AutoZone. It's liquid wrench light machine oil. You need a T15 and a T10. T15, 4 screws, and then the T10, um, you know, I haven't even counted them, but they're all through the one side of the case. So I'm just popping these out right fast and cleaning these up a little bit. You know, I work in a mechanic shop, and there's all kinds of stuff flying around. There's, brake dust and metal shavings and rust and just overall dust and grime in general. And I mean, a lot of guys don't think twice about blowing these things out with an air gun or, taking them apart and looking at the insides. You just use them until they don't work anymore, or if you're privileged enough to afford, Milwaukee or Snap-on. A lot of them, lifetime warranties, or, they've got technicians that come around once, twice a week, a month, and you can report your issues, and 9 times out of 10 they'll either replace them or they'll send them off to a guy that's doing what I'm doing now. So let's see if I can. Alright. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of the T10s. Did I miss one? Nope. Alright. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, but so this is the case of the motor on the front, or whatever. I'm not going into super detailed descriptions. I mean, if you own one, then you kind of know what you're looking at. Alright, there's the electrical part in the back, the motor, and then it goes up into the chuck is what it's called. Let's see if I can do this. Alright, so you can kind of see maybe. In here is this, dirt, grime, metal shavings. So I'll flip this. Let's see if I can show you. Alright, so this one's got LEDs built into it. So of course it's got this extra wire that runs up through here and then behind the motor. So you kind of got to wiggle it out a little bit until you can separate it. And there's a spring in here, and some guys, they'll pull everything apart. From what I've seen on it, I think it was a DeWalt video. Okay, so yeah, this one compared to the other one, I've owned this one for longer, so it's a little nastier. The other one had red grease, and this one, whether it be red or if it was supposed to be kind of a white or a cream color, has now collected a bunch of metal. And in here, in the gears and everything, was a lot more packed with grease on the other one. So, wipe it up, and I will apply some more. Try to make this a real quick, short video. Just take a rag, get down in there, wipe a bunch of this stuff out. And the only reason I'm really doing this is, even though they're inexpensive, and they do what, at least mine's done what I needed it to. Power tools are not cheap, so I'm just trying to keep these things working to the best of their ability for as long as I can. And it doesn't have to be spotless or anything, I don't think. I mean, if you got big chunks of metal in there, it's probably almost too far gone to really save it, so. Just kind of wipe it all down. If there is any kind of debris in there. And I guess at some point I will do a follow-up video. So I've seen some threads about people talking about using some grease and it just kind of liquefies, and then it's not the best for the internals on these. But I am using this light machine oil. It's a non-detergent, and it says you can use it on small motors, gears, sewing machines, casters. But I'm just putting it down in here where the gears are. I might go ahead and put just a little bit of that wheel bearing grease in there with it. But the bearing grease, I'm going to be coating this and the inside of the casing. And if I had, you know, a bunch of subscribers and a bunch of views on my videos, I would probably take the time to go through and edit this, but I haven't even pulled out my actual camera in probably a couple years, and I'm just using my cell phone, just showing you how long this really takes. I mean, because if let's see, I'm at 10 minutes so far, taking 15 to 20 minutes out of your super busy weekend to take care of the tools that you use on a daily basis. I mean, if it saves you money, it saves you money. Especially, I mean, like I said, these things are like 60 bucks or whatever, but you know, you start digging into Milwaukee and DeWalt and Craftsman, and it gets a little pricey. So I'm just using this paintbrush to get in here. Just because I'm still drinking coffee and wearing my pajamas. Don't really feel like getting grease all over my fingers just yet this morning, so we're doing it the easy and less messy way. Slathering it around in there. Oh, dropping the paintbrush apparently. Now I'm just using a nylon brush. Nylon tip to kind of come through the back part of the motor where any contacts are. I'm just getting the dust and dirt off of the terminals and the wires, and just kind of cleaning it up. Like I said, I usually just take an air gun and blow it out through the vents at work, because I use these to clean up rotors and wheel studs and stuff like that on cars, to get rid of rust and stuff whenever you're doing tires. Just set it back down in there. Oh, there we go. Like I said, this one's got the LED wires. So just kind of make sure, you might have to tilt it back up a little bit to get it back in there. Make sure everything is seated where it needs to be. Kind of tuck the wires back in there so they don't get pinched by the case. Make sure your little screw holes line up and put it back together. Like I said, I'll do an update video on you know, whether I notice a difference as far as the products I'm using, the grease and the gear oil, and see if it starts to wear down the internals faster. This is merely a kind of trial by error, because if it works and it continues working, great, but I figured any sort of lubrication would be better than just using whatever is in there from the factory for X amount of time until it's not doing what it needs to be doing anymore, and you're kind of SOL and have to buy a new tool. So put these T10s back in here. Now I've tried yet and again to get some sort of I don't know, sponsorship or recognition through Bauer tools. I mean, I know it's a Harbor Freight brand on the fact that I'm using, you know, their product in a mechanics setting, but I have yet to hear anything back. And they would probably frown upon the fact that I'm taking their tools apart, since I am not a licensed technician for their products. But I am trying to get their product to last me quite a long time, since, like I had stated previously, these are not cheap. So yeah, I'm going to finish putting these screws in, and I will do an update video on how long they last. I just finished greasing this one the same exact way. So far so good. I'll keep you posted.